Hey everyone, Steve Crawford from Experience Wealth, bringing you another financial life hack. Today I'm going to talk about how you hit your goals all year round. So depending on when you're watching this, most of you, it's probably around New Year's. Maybe it's like 3, 4, 6 weeks after New Year's resolutions. And I hate those things, right? Because it puts so much pressure on one time of the year for you to be successful when it comes to setting goals, which is just ridiculous. So today what I'm going to do is teach you how to hack your goal setting so that you can do it all year round. So step number 1, make sure you're choosing goals that you actually give a crap about in the first place. They've got to mean something to you. The problem with New Year's resolutions is everybody chooses the same thing and they sort of do it because sometimes other people are doing it as well. So it's the age-old, I want to get fit, I want to get healthy, I want to save more money, maybe there's a career-based thing. And look, all of that stuff's great. But if the reason why you're choosing it is because everybody else is choosing it, or you think it's the right thing that you should be doing at this time of the year, chances are you're not going to stick to it when the going gets tough. So step number 1, make sure you're actually choosing goals that mean enough to you in the first place so that when things get a little bit tough, you actually push through the pain. The best way to do that is by using a values-based exercise. Now, this might seem a little bit wishy-washy coming out of a finance guy to talk about values and beliefs and priorities, but time after time, I can tell you with my clients and all the guys we work with in here at Experience Wealth, the values exercise before the goal-setting exercise is absolutely the most important because it helps you and our clients understand why do they want to achieve the goal in the first place. What's so important about it? And when it comes to step 2, it makes it so much easier for them to actually prioritize into what they really want to work towards versus, something they might work towards later, things that really, when it boils down to it, aren't that important at all. Okay, after you've got your values set, it's time to map it out, right? So when you're building your goals, what you want to do is actually choose what you're going to work towards this year, what you're going to work towards a little bit later, and then what's going to be a lot further down the track. So with our clients, we do a goal planning exercise where we start with a wish list. And we basically ask them, if money wasn't an obstacle, what would you like to achieve? So the wish list is, if money wasn't an obstacle, what would we like to achieve? And so you're starting with this optimistic mindset of, it's much easier to ski downhill than it is to ski uphill when it comes to planning goals. So if a classic example goal we get for a lot of our clients is to buy their first property, right? So we would say be optimistic, not pessimistic. So start with, don't be delusional, right? So start with, if it's between $700,000 and $800,000 for a property, start with $800,000. If you want to buy in the next 6 months to 2 years, start with 6 months. So your wish list is, I'd want to buy an $800,000 property in the next 6 months. And you go through that and list off all of your different goals. Now, doing it in a table makes it easy for you to get the information out, but it makes it difficult for you to be able to see what do you want to do when. So the next step you've got to do is what's called a goals board. Now, a goals board allows you to put your goals into different time frames, so short term, medium term, and long term. It also allows you to put your goals into 2 really distinct categories, being want to have and must have. Now your job is to move your goals from your wish list onto your goals board. Now, not every goal that's on your wish list has to go across to your goals board unless you want it to. The hardest one actually to put on is the first one because you don't have anything else to compare it against. So once you've got your first goal on, get your second, your third, your fourth, and then you can start to move it around. And it allows you to prioritize both in terms of want versus must have and your different time frames. And that brings you to step number 3, develop your action plan. The biggest reason, in my opinion anyway, why most people don't succeed when it comes to goal planning is they fail to actually develop a specific action plan for each of their goals and have a sort of support program wrapped around that. It's all good and well doing, I want to retire at 50, or I want to buy a big house, or I want to have all these massive holidays, and I want to do all of this stuff. And that's great, right? It's important to get off to a good start. But if you don't develop a plan of action, you're just not going to get there. So here's how we do action plans with our clients. Number 1, work out exactly what it's going to take to hit your goal in the time frame that you set yourself, whether it's 12 months, 5 years, 10 years, it doesn't matter. Work out the amount, work out when you need it, and then go backwards from there. Break it up into how much do you need to contribute to that goal each month to hit your target. And remember, if you're doing this yourself, always be conservative around what sort of investment returns you think you're going to get if you're using investments, if you're using just cash or bank accounts to store and save up for these goals. Go super conservative with how much interest you're going to earn and stuff like that. Right? Always best to underplay that. So what do I need? How much do I need to contribute each month? And then start to put them side by side so you can see how much you actually need to contribute each month. Now, there'll be another video later on about budgeting, and that's going to link through to this one as well, because what you need to do next is you get your budget out and you look at your savings down the bottom of your budget and you work out whether or not you can put all of the money that you've got in your savings to each of those different goals to be able to achieve them all at the same time. Now, 9 times out of 10 when we're doing this with our clients, and I'm doing this with my clients, typically what happens is what they need to put in each month to hit their goals is more than what they've actually got available at the end of a normal savings period. And that's sort of designed to be that way because it allows them to go, you know what, I'm going to work towards this one now, and I might do that one in 2 years or 5 years or 7 years. It allows you to actually break it down to a monthly contribution to hit that target. All right, so you got your action plan in place. Time for step 4, got to stay on track. So we've worked out what's important to us. We've worked out what the goals are that we're actually doing in terms of want to have and must have in different time frames. We've mapped it out. We've got our action plan. We know what we need to do. Now the hard part kicks in. Time to stay on track or keep it on track. Here, you need to know what you're doing weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly. If you're putting money towards it weekly, you need to break it down into that target. Fortnightly, monthly. Try and link it into your pay cycle. So if you're getting paid weekly, make sure you're contributing towards your goal weekly. Same with fortnightly, same with monthly. Try this idea of pay yourself first. So whatever you're going to put towards your target, make sure that when your pay hits, it's getting moved off out of your bank account either the same day or the day after. Then what you want to do is have some sort of system for tracking it. So whether it's a Google Doc, an Excel spreadsheet, some sort of app, moneysmart.gov.au has a whole bunch of tracking tools that you can use. So I'll put a link in there. That's the Australian government website. So you definitely need to have a way to track this. Not just here's what I should be doing. It's here's what I should be doing and here's what I have been doing, so you know whether you're on plan or you're ahead of plan or you're behind plan. At this point, you can also choose whether you're going to bring in an accountability buddy. So obviously you could get someone like us, a financial planner, financial coach. It could be a friend, a family member, a colleague, even a virtual version of yourself. You know, go a little bit left to center, record a video of yourself, what you're going to look like when you achieve your goal, or things that you expect yourself to be doing. Whatever it is, whatever works for you to help you stay accountable, stay on track, make sure you're doing that. So step number 5, make sure you're reviewing and refreshing your goals, either formally, so every 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, or informally. Stuff changes, right? So make sure whatever plan you put in place for the goals that you're working towards this year, and how you're saving towards those goals. Don't make it so set in stone that it only works with that goal. Try and set up a structure where it allows you to make changes as you go. So, you know, I might be talking about here, don't pick investments that have absolute locked-in contracts and locked-in time frames and things like that. Yeah, make sure you've got the flexibility to be able to move your money around to a different investment type that suits the goal that you're working towards. As things change, then make sure you're coming back and reviewing that process. So go back to your values. Make sure they're still the same ones. If you need new ones, get them added in. Here I'm talking about specifically maybe couples that are starting a family, maybe a little bit earlier than they thought about. Kids might not have been on the horizon, but obviously now they are. And that brings things like schooling and childcare and a whole bunch of other stuff onto your list. Make sure you have a process for dealing with it. Don't just go out with the old and in with the new. Go back to step one, review those values, then chuck those new goals onto your, through your wish list and into your goals board, map it out, put your action plan in place again, then get back to tracking, and then you get to review again in another 3, 6, 9, 12 months. Guys, if you like this video, make sure you subscribe. If you need to find out more, visit the website, and I'll talk to you soon.